So whether you're using a towel or a mat, make sure that it's in line with your spine, that your feet are wide. You can keep your knees bent. You can extend your legs. We're going to let our arms relax out, palms facing up, and then close our eyes. Feeling our breath slow down. As we keep our rolled up mat or rolled up towel underneath our upper body, from our head as far down as it will support, we're going to reach our hands up to the ceiling and then bring our fingertips together, feeling our shoulder blades pull apart and our spine resting on our prop. Then lower our shoulders down as we keep our arms straight so that we can wrap our shoulder blades around our prop. Taking a moment to hold here, allowing the muscles around the inside of our shoulder blades to soften. Feeling our breath. And from this position, we're going to slowly inch our hands back, adding a little more pressure to the upper part of our rhomboids, the muscles on the inside of our shoulder blades to our spine. Also getting into the traps a little bit as we continue to take our time inching our hands back. Only go as far as you feel comfortable. And then when you no longer feel the pressure in the rhomboid area, the area in our between our shoulder blades and our spine, then I want you to bring your hands up. Again, taking our time, moving really slowly. And then when we get above our chest, we're going to start to inch our arms forward, working into the lower part of our rhomboids. Then slowly come back up. Taking our hands back again. And then slowly bringing our hands back up. When our hands get over our chest, we're going to slowly take our fingertips apart and then draw our elbows out to the side. And I want you to hang on to your prop with your shoulder blades as long as you can. And then once we get our elbows out to the side and they're down as far as we can go, we're going to start to extend our arms. And then we're going to bend our elbows again. And then we're going to slowly squeeze the prop underneath us, reach our hands up towards the ceiling, straightening our arms. And then we're going to do that again, but this time we're going to have our arms a little more straight. So instead of bending our elbows a lot, we're going to take our arms, start to reach them out to the side. And then as it feels right for you, like when it becomes too much or you can't hold on to the prop with your shoulder blades anymore, then I want you to start to bend your elbow. And maybe one side will be different than the other, and that's okay. And then when you make it all the way down and you pause for a moment, then we're going to start to lift back up. Trying to hang on to our prop with our shoulder blades. And then this time when our hands make it back over our shoulders, we're going to turn our palms forward. And I want you to pull your shoulder blades down your back. Then start to reach your hands back behind you. Again, only going to a place that's comfortable for us. And then start to lift our hands up. But before you do, if your hands made it to the floor, I want you to engage your ribs first, pull them down towards the base of your hips, then lift your arms up. This helps protect your shoulders as we move with core strength. And when our hands make it back to the top of our shoulders, palms face each other, I want you to hug your shoulder blades around your prop, then take your arms out wide. As soon as you start to feel like you're letting go of it, I want you to bend your elbow and see if you can hang on a little bit more. And again, one side might work differently than the other, and that's okay. Once we make it down to a place that honors us, you can pause for a moment if you made it to the floor, or you can start to head back up. And then when our hands make it back to the top of our shoulders, palms face forward, start to draw our arms back behind us as we hug our shoulder blades down our back. Again, this protects our shoulders, this stabilizes our shoulders as we open up the front of our chest, our upper back. When you find your end range of motion, pause. If you made it all the way to the floor, make sure to hug your ribs in first, then lift your hands up. And palms face forward or face each other. We're going to lower our elbows down to the floor and then release our hands. Letting our shoulders soften and relax down towards the floor. and bend our knees. Let's roll over to one side. We're going to release our props out from underneath us. And then we're going to turn them around and place our prop underneath our neck. So whether we're using a towel or a mat, take the rolled up prop, place it behind our neck so that the groove of our prop can fit in the groove of our neck. Our chin and our forehead are about the same height. And we're going to close our eyes and allow our head to get really heavy. As we keep our eyes closed and our head heavy, let's begin to rock our heads side to side. Massaging out the back of our neck, the base of our head. And bringing our head back to center. Opening our eyes, we're going to grab a hold of our prop and bring it out from underneath our head. And we're going to place it underneath our hips. Just like you would use a yoga block. Placing it in the center of our hips so that our hips can be fairly level. Our low back is lifted off the floor a lot. And our shoulders are resting on the floor. Our head's resting on the floor. And then once you get your hips all lined up, I want you to lift your chest up to the ceiling, lengthen across your belly, start to hug your shoulders underneath you, and then walk your feet into what's comfortable for you. Let your arms relax out and close your eyes. Adding weight to the top of our shoulders. Keeping our breath long, slow, and even. Then bringing our hands to our side, elbows to our side. We're going to keep our elbows on the floor and our hands lifted. So our arms are going to be at about a 90-degree bend. And I want you to push your elbows into the floor, lift your rib cage up, feel your upper back work. Holding, breathing. And then relax down and soften. And again, press your elbows into the floor, lift your rib cage, draw your chest towards your chin. We've done a similar version of this before where we had our elbows out to the side, but this time our elbows are going to be in narrow. And relax and soften. And one more time, drive our elbows into the floor, lift our ribs, draw our chest towards our chin, let our chin relax down, lengthening across our belly, and relax. Let our arms soften down, let our upper back relax, let our shoulder blades move apart so that our shoulders are flat on the floor. And then we're going to lift our hips, draw our prop a little bit towards our tailbone. So not a lot, enough to where we can hold on to it. It's not going to roll away or move away, but it's a little bit more towards our tailbone than our waist. And then from here, we're going to draw our knees into our chest and let the prop support this knees to chest so that we don't need to use our arms. Still receiving a stretch through the low back, through the glutes, through the back of our legs, allowing our belly to soften down. And extend our feet up to the ceiling. Draw our right leg back towards our head and our left leg forward. So that again, we stretch through the back of our thigh, but also the front of our left hip. Draw our right leg out slightly and our left foot out slightly. And then bring it back in and lift our feet up. And switch legs. Right leg down towards the floor, left leg back towards our head. Stretching it across the front of our right hip and the back of our left thigh. Again, allowing the arms and shoulders to stay relaxed. Our head, our neck, our upper back. And take our left leg out slightly and our right foot out slightly. So they're moving away from each other. Adding a little bit of stretch across the front of our hips and across the front of our right hip a little bit differently. Bring our legs back in and lift them back up. This time we're going to draw our legs apart. So we're going to bend our knees first. We're going to let our feet hang. Take our knees out wide. Then bring our feet up a little bit. So we're creating a 90-degree bend with our legs. Then draw our legs back up to the ceiling. Lift our feet up. Right foot back, left foot forward. And this time we're going to move our legs in closer towards each other. So right leg reaches over to the left leg reaches over to the right. So now we're stretching through the outer right hip and the outer left. More across the front of our hip on our left side, more to the outside of our hip on our right side. Bring our legs back to center and lift them up. Right leg down, left foot back. Let our tailbone draw down. And reach our right leg to the left and left leg to the right, your range of motion. Try not to turn your left toes out. Keep them pointed back behind you. Keeping our hips down on our prop. Don't let our left hip lift up. And bring our feet back to center and then up to the ceiling. Draw our knees into our chest. Let our heels relax towards our hips. Then draw our knees forward until our knees stack over the top of our hips. Lift our feet up till our shins are parallel to the ceiling. Keep this shape, take our knees out wide. Option to extend our legs a little bit. Remember, it doesn't have to be an all or nothing. Maybe it's just a little bit. Maybe you begin to explore your hips, the inner thighs across the front of your hips. Maybe you begin to extend your legs, but we listen to our body along the way. Maybe we hug our belly in. Maybe our tailbone starts to lift a little bit as we move that stretch more towards the back or the center of our inner thighs. Toes stay pointed back behind us rather than up towards the ceiling. Then bending our knees. Let our heels come towards our hips. Then lift our knees up and draw our knees in towards our chest, letting our arms stay relaxed out. And relax our feet down to the floor. We're going to lift our hips up, remove our props out from underneath us. And we're going to use our props for our heads. We're going to roll to our right side. Now, if you have a towel and a mat that you're using today, I want you to use whatever's tallest for your head. And then whatever is the smallest height, you're going to use for your ribs. And we're going to fold or roll whatever you have, whatever height you can build for your props. You're going to take the prop for your ribs, and it's going to be right about the center of your chest. If you found your sternum, go out to your side. That's where your prop for your ribs is going to be. And then the other prop is for your head. You're going to extend your right arm out in front of you. Put your head on your first prop, your ribs on your other prop. Then you're going to take your left hand and stack it on top of your right. And then we're going to pause for a moment. Maybe closing our eyes. Knees are stacked, ankles are stacked. If this is uncomfortable on the hips, you're going to take your top hip and tip it forward a lot. But some of the weight should be coming off of your hips if you have that prop underneath your ribs. At least the upper part of our hips. And then from this position, we're going to take our left hand, reach it up to the ceiling. Feel your shoulder blade get firm on your back. Feel your shoulder blade pull down your back. Then we're going to move through our rib cage, drawing our left shoulder back behind us, keeping our knees together and our feet together. We're opening across the front of our chest, across our belly, keeping our low belly hugged in. Feeling our breath long, letting our body soften with each exhale. And on our next exhale, hug our bellies in, lift our left shoulder, left hand stays in line with our shoulder, so the shoulder blade stays firm on our back. Then we're going to bring our left hand down on top of our right, and then lift it back up. Feel our shoulder blade get firm on our back. Then slowly start to draw our left shoulder back behind us, keeping our knees together. And on our next exhale, hugging our bellies in, pulling our rib cage down. Then lift our left shoulder, letting our arm tag along. Then when you're ready, left hand comes down on top of our right. And then lift it back up. Shoulder blade firm on our back. Left shoulder comes back behind us, opening up the front of our chest. And on our next exhale, hug our bellies in, pull the front of our ribs down, then lift our left shoulder, and then bring our left hand down, softening between our shoulder blades, our upper back, our mid back. And bringing our left hand in to a place that it can comfortably rest on the floor. We're going to press ourselves up, and we're either going to move our props to the other side or just roll to the other side so that we can set up and be where we need to be. Remembering that one prop is supporting our head, one's supporting our ribs right around our sternum. Hands are stacking, knees are bent, joints are stacked. So ankles, knees, hips. If it's a little more comfortable for you and you have extra props, such as a block, you can place that between your knees. And then closing our eyes and taking a moment to pause. When you're ready, reach your right hand up to the ceiling, stacking your hand over your shoulder blade firm on your back. Then reach your right shoulder back behind you as you move into a twist, keeping knees together. On our next exhale, hug our bellies in, pull the front of our ribs down, lift our right shoulder up, and then lower our right hand down on top of our left, softening between our shoulder blades. On our next inhale, right hand comes back up, shoulder blade firm on our back, lower our right shoulder back and down, opening the front side of our chest, but honoring our shoulder, our back, our ribs, our spine. You need to bend your right arm. Feel free to do that, maybe part way, maybe all the way. Maybe hand comes to shoulder. Remembering we're keeping the knees together. On our next exhale, hug our bellies in, pull our ribs down, lift our right shoulder. And then when our shoulders are stacked, let our right hand come down on top of our left and soften our right shoulder. Inhale, lift our right arm up, shoulder blade firm on our back, lower our right shoulder back behind us. On our next exhale, hugging our belly in, lifting our right shoulder. When our shoulders are stacked, right hand comes down on top of our left and soften. Sliding our right hand in towards our body, press ourselves up. And we're going to come into Shavasana. So it's going to be your choice. You can have a rolled up prop underneath your neck. You can have props underneath your knees. You can use props under your head and upper back to find a heart opener. Whatever it is that you want based off the props that you have. And then once you arrive in your variation, close your eyes. Drawing our awareness back to our bodies. Let's invite movement back into our hands and our feet, our wrists, our ankles. And then we're going to slowly come out of our propped up version of Shavasana. So depending on which one you set up, if it's okay for you to roll to the right side, feel free to do that, or press yourself straight up. And then rise up to a comfortable seat. As we find our comfortable seated position, let's take a moment to assess our body and notice how we feel. And bringing our hands together in front of our heart, sealing in all that we found in this practice today. Take it as a gift that we can enjoy through the rest of our day and the days to come. Namaste.